today?
I am Jamia Wells Palmer, or I am Mimi the Motivator. My role today is General Evaluator. I have this handy dandy checklist that I just came across that I'm going to share with you all later. So my job is to evaluate the meeting overall from start to finish and the functionaries there within. I am happy and feeling verdant about this role today. So I will talk to you all later.
Thank you, Mimi. So I would like to present our first speaker, Mr. Nathan. The topic of his speech is, where's the target? Coaches and mentors all have their role, but when a young disruptor named Nathan came on the scene, he had his share of them all. Many influencers came and went, and we are going to hear how he was able to move the pieces in his own life and what has now been learned. Mr. Nathan, whenever you're ready.
We're supposed to have the evaluator tell what the evaluator is looking for, so Nathan is aware.
Okay. So it looks like.
So I am Janet, and I am Nathan's evaluator today. And Nathan has asked me particularly to look for his organization and his fluency in transitions in his talk. The purpose statements for this project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. So the talk is about mentoring and proteges. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of a previous experience as a protege. And so we all know he's developing an understanding of Toastmasters mentoring. This speech is about a time when the member was a protege. It may form any time from his or her life. It may discuss any aspect of the protege experience, and it should not be just a report on the content of the Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring Manual. Thank you.
Thank you, Janet. Thank you. Mr. Nathan, whenever you're ready, sir.
1 second, I'm hushing the puppy. Okay. Sorry, the Schwann's guy pulls up right at the perfect timing. Excellent, thank you. So, I was in the Army for 8 years. In that time, I trained a lot of great men and women, learned some amazing skills. One thing that I learned is that specific skills in an industry don't always transfer to another industry. Case in point, I was a field medic for most of those 8 years. And when I got out, I was nowhere closer to being an EMT. Not only did I have to retest to see if I knew how to do some of the basic skills, but I also had to get some more schooling. So I was lost. I bring this up only because I want you to see and basically put yourself in my shoes at how verdant I was to any industry. Here I am closing on 30 years old, and I basically had nothing to show for it except for a high school education, because I couldn't prove anything. I didn't have a piece of paper to say anything. There are two statements that I want to share with you right now so that it resonates. First one is, you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make it drink. And the second one is, when the student is ready, the master will appear. I had some of the most amazing men and women at my disposal. I even paid for some. I know a lot of people on this call and our inspirational speakers are very into self-improvement. I actually went to dinner and had not to say a personal relationship, but a relationship with Tom Hopkins. This is just to share. I was not in a position where I wasn't able to find the right mentor. I was able to find anybody I had the ability for, and I paid for some. One of the things that I learned from those individuals, all of that money that I spent, was that I wasn't ready. Mentor and protege relationship is the importance. Mentor could be the greatest mentor in the world, and the protege hasn't become the one yet. Matrix reference. I wasn't ready until I actually read a book called Range. It's by David Epstein. It's called Range: How Generalists Prosper in a Specialized World. The biggest thing that did is it changed my mindset. I wasn't ready because I had the greatest writers, or I had the greatest leaders pulling me to the river, and I still didn't drink. The book Range specifies on how people who specialize too early kind of cap themselves out. People who have no clue where they're going, I don't know what I'm going to be when I grow up, kind of situations. I know a lot of you've said that to yourself. When you have that mentality, you've learned all of these different skills because you didn't know what you were doing. And in the book Range, it really says how all of those skills were really just stepping stones to get to where you're going to. I really appreciated that book. The biggest thing that did is it made me ready to find a teacher. It made me ready to find that master. And once I read that book, everybody became my master. I look at it as anybody who has a different experience than mine has something to teach me. Now, the mentor-protege relationship is different from coaching, and I'm not supposed to teach on what I learned from that because that was what Toastmasters rules were. However, I do want to expound a little bit on the greatest people in their industries. Arguably, Michael Jordan's the greatest basketball player. I don't know why it's an argument. I think it's true. But he even had a coach. The mentor is a little bit more outside of that skill set specifics. The mentor is somebody who says, your coach is going to tell you how to shoot that target. As a mentor, let's find out where that target should be. Right now, I don't have a lot of time with my mentor, but I found my mentor. She's my director, and she is exactly where I want to be when I see, where do you want to be in 3-5 years? Where do you want to be in 5 to 10 years? Where do you want to be in 10 to 15 years? And so that's where I'm at. I will absolutely give a feedback or more feedback on when that mentor-protege relationship gets more bonded and everything. But right now, it's just began, but I'm ready. I'm a horse at the water. I'm ready to drink. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Nathan, and thank you for your service. I had no idea that you served our country for 8 years. Thank you very much. I personally am very big on mentors, and I've definitely invested in a lot of programs to help me become the best version of myself. Miss Timer, could we have 1 minute on the clock, please? so we can give Nathan some comments.
Arturo, she raised the green up for 1 minute.
Thank you. Thank you, Kim. So we do not have a second speaker for today. However, Miss Sandy wants to take advantage of this opportunity so she can talk to us about Quick Pathways 101. Miss Sandy, whenever you're ready.
Fabulous. Thanks, Art. I know that when we join Toastmasters, oh, look at that. We're not joining Toastmasters to figure out how to keep the lens thing that covers our camera off. We're not joining Toastmasters to learn how to navigate to websites, which right now is what we're trying to do. We use Easy Speak as our little club's meeting place, and that's where we sign up for speeches. It's where we sign up for roles. It is what helps our Vice President of Education stay on track of what we're doing along our path. Are we taking the timer role every single week? We can see that in Easy Speak. And I know that Easy Speak isn't working today, but that's the purpose that it serves when it's functioning. And I'm impressed that it works as often as it does because it's free and it's run by volunteers. So I'm happy for every gosh darn day that it's functioning for us. The other website we have to use is Toastmasters International, and that is the official Toastmasters website, and that's where we find Pathways. And Pathways is the educational package that we use in the Toastmasters program. Back in the olden days, there were tracks, they called them tracks. There was a communication track and there was a leadership track, like railroad tracks, chugga chugga choo choo. And you got your workbooks, and they were paper, and they killed trees to follow your path, your educational plan in Toastmasters. And Toastmasters said, let's get closer to the correct century and launch an online educational program that people can take with them in their actual lives outside of a Toastmasters meeting, in their professional lives, in their personal lives. And that is where Pathways came from. Pathways we have to get to through Toastmasters International, and I'm going to start from the beginning, from scratch. You are a brand new member, and I'm going to try to get you in far as I can within 5 to 7 minutes. And the first step to this is to share my screen. There it is. Let's pick the right one. Let's see how that looks. Yes, can you see Toastmasters on your screen? Super fabulous, thanks. If you have never logged in before, if you are brand new to Toastmasters, you'll get an email and it will give you all of the information that you need to log into the Toastmasters International website, and it will give you a link to select a path by taking the assessment. You may have decided it was junk mail and deleted it. I think that a high percentage of people don't recognize the email that's coming through from Toastmasters International as something they need to open and click on. I just clicked on login and it did nothing, so that's always exciting. If that's the case, don't fret. All you need to do is put in your email address and click forgot password, and you can set up a login for yourself. I am going to, James, don't flinch. I allow all that stuff to stay in there. I would make an excellent case of what not to do for an awful lot of online security. If you ever need that kind of example, I am at your service. Pathways. It is right here. And when you have time, spend some time at this website. There are some tremendous resources in here to help you learn and grow and reach your goals. By clicking on Pathways, it gives us a few options. If you're brand new, again, please click on the Start page, which, as you might have imagined, is kind of the, hey, here you are. What can you do while you're here? You can choose your path, continue to path selection. And if you have not yet selected a path, you have, oh, please do select digital. You can either look at all of the path options, which are all very interesting. And for our existing members, remember, Toastmasters International has had that program out there for a little while to get a second path for free instead of for $20. I don't know how long it lasts, but I'm pretty sure Mimi can clue us in on that. Or I suggest, if you're brand new to Toastmasters, taking the online assessment. You don't have to sign up for the path that Toastmasters recommends for you, but it's kind of fun to see what they're suggesting anyway. They'll give you the top 3, no obligation to choose the one that Toastmasters recommends. Just real quick, I'm going to view all path options. I wonder if I can just do that. Oh, I'd like to make this smaller. This will give you a description of every path there is out there. And you can read about all of them and select a new path at any time. And I'm going to go to Basecamp because that's where you're going to go if you've already selected a path. And you won't see login as Basecamp manager until you have an officer role that requires you to log in as Basecamp manager. So if you click on Basecamp, that is where you can access your transcript is what they call it, but this is your educational program based on the path that you selected. And from here, you can first of all kind of school me a little bit on how to do that. There we go, that's better. You can open your curriculum. And you can launch from whatever level it sets you in. So if you're in level 1, I can launch any of these and work through them. Go to the icebreaker. I think a step that sometimes people might miss, other than their screen loading and accepting pop-ups. There we go. It told me congratulations, but something that I think people occasionally miss is clicking through the entire project. Instead of just saying, I want to do a speech next Wednesday and giving the speech, I strongly urge you to take advantage of clicking all the way through here and learning everything that Toastmasters has in front of you, because that's what you're paying for in Toastmasters. It gives you your outline for making your speech. It will get you through all the steps of rehearsal and planning, all of the tips. Some of these have videos, and they're nice short videos, and they are really full of information. When you get to complete your assignment, sometimes people wonder, where do I get the evaluation form that people told me to send to my evaluator? It is somewhere right in here. Oops. There we go, my evaluation. This is where your evaluation is that you can send it to an evaluator before your speech, so they know which form they're working on and they know exactly what it is they should be listening for on that day. And I'm going to stop the share because my screen got convoluted and I couldn't see Kim anymore. Red, thank you. If you have the time, there are a ton of videos out there. I will send the link out to the entire group on how to make Pathways work for you. I know it's a little complicated to learn as a new thing while you're learning about Toastmasters, but give yourself the time because you made the time to join Toastmasters. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Sandy, for refreshing us, our minds on this important information. Before we move forward on the next part of the meeting, I would actually like to introduce our guest. I just realized we have a guest, Mr. Aaron. Hi, Aaron. welcome. Thank you for being here.
Hi guys. Thanks.
How did
Thank
you
you.
find this?
I actually I was told about this through a family member, so I wanted to look into it. And here I am.
Perfect. What are you looking to get out of Toastmasters if you were to?
Well, basically I'm looking to start to do some motivational speaking. About 5 years ago, I had 2 major strokes and I was never supposed to walk or talk again or anything like that. Well, I beat all that. So I'm looking to sharpen my skills for public speaking for other people so I can do motivational speak.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I hope to see you back here again.
Thank
I
you.
really do. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
being here. Mhm.
Thank you.
All right, folks. So now we're going to move on to the next part of our meeting, which is the fun part of the meeting. Well, this whole meeting is fun for me, but we are now going to be moving on to table topics. And our table topics master is our honored veteran, Mr. James Flowers. James, please take over.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. How we doing today? How we doing today in time? It's time for table topics. We have 3 great questions that I'm going to ask you if we have the time, but I need 3 brave souls to step up and stand on the plate and get ready to swing this table topic out the window. So who's first to take a swing at the bat? You can volunteer, or I can voluntold you, old military term.
I'll be volunteered / voluntold.
All right, Jennifer has stepped up to be the first person out the box. So Jennifer, I'm going to remove my background screen because I got to give you your topic. So what we're going to do today is I have picked up a lovely container of cashews. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have you give us a commercial on that product and make everybody want to go buy the cashews right now. So Jennifer, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topic Master. Cashews. They're wonderful. They can make multiple different things. You could make a little yummy cashew cluster with chocolate and caramel and all the loveliness that a cashew can bring. May I ask one thing? Are they salted or unsalted?
Unsalted.
Okay. They can make great sweet, and I was going to say salty, but you can get cashews in both unsalted and salted to make your treat even sweeter. You can also make some yummy Chinese food, meaning you could make some cashew chicken with those cashews. They're excellent for Chinese food. I bet you could also do it with pork. You could probably do it with beef. But you could have some fun experimenting and cooking with those cashews. But as a wise man once told me, we're all nuts. And so if you're going to be a nut and you want to cook with the nut, be a cashew and cook with the cashew. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Table Topics Master.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jennifer. Your commercial made me so hungry. I had to go get some cashews and eat a few. They were just on point. Oh my goodness, it was so good.
I want some cashews now.
I'm going to make me some cashew and fried chicken today. I'm going to mix something with it for crust. But staying on topic with the table topics. Question 2, who's it going to be? Do we have a volunteer or I voluntold somebody? I thought I saw a hand pop up. Oh, Nathan. Oh, excellent. I got a soldier. Oh, no, Shantae, yours is going to be great for the ending. So, Nathan, since you like topics, this is good for quotes. Sir, I'm going to give you a quote. I'm going to give you a license plate or a bumper sticker. And you're going to interpret what that bumper sticker or quote means. Are you ready? So I don't use profane language. So guess what, folks? Stuff happens. That's your bumper sticker and your quote. Can you interpret what does that mean for us, sir? The floor.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. Stuff happens. Good stuff happens. Bad stuff happens. Stuff that doesn't matter to you happens. It doesn't depend on what happens to you. It's how you take it. Stuff is going to happen. You need to be strong enough to take it. You don't try to stay away from the stuff. The stuff is going to happen. The wolf doesn't try to outrun the arrow. The wolf has to be strong enough to take the arrow. Stuff happens. Good stuff happens. Bad stuff happens. If you want more good stuff to happen, don't run away from the bad stuff. Get more bad stuff to happen to you too. Everything works in equilibrium. More good stuff happens to you, more bad stuff's going to happen to you too. You can't have success without failure, you know. Stuff happens. Hey, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you very much, Nathan. So, you know, folks, stuff happens all the time to you. What you're going to do when stuff happens to you. So, Ms. Timer, do we have time for one more? I think we got enough time.
Yes, we do.
Good. Ms. Shantae, you still want to be volunteer for this one, or you want to pass it? All right. So, in closing, for our table topics question, we're going to talk about acronyms. Ms. Shantae, the acronym NBC stands for National Broadcasting Company. I want you to take that acronym and give it a new meaning for NBC. Ma'am, the floor is.
Can everybody hear me? Fantastic. It's so funny that you asked me that because I recently got a new license plate and it is MJ, more happiness, joy, MHJ. And I think in my head, more happiness and joy. I don't remember the numbers. It's not going to help me. This is not great information. NBC could stand for a variety of things. And today we are going to make it Natural Beauty Coalition. And I think I just started a not-for-profit right in my head right here. I hope you all will join me. I see some future officers. Fantastic. Yay. So what I'm thinking is we, particularly for women, now men, I do not want you to get even a little bit offended when I say, y'all are allowed to age. It's not that we don't age just as gracefully, but you're allowed to. Someone, probably a man, said that you could get gray hair and you'd be a silver fox. I get gray hair and I'm a hag. You grow body hair and that's fantastic. I grow body hair and I'm Sasquatch. Well, one of my favorite songs in the whole world is called Armpit Hair by Alex Olsen. Listen to it, love it, and know that it's mammally factual. To have body hair, people, it's okay. It's there for a reason. So when you come to the Natural Beauty Coalition, no, we are all beautiful in our own way. And I'm very excited to go bring that message to the world. Thanks for coming today, friends. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you very much, Ms. Shantae. We appreciate that. So we've had some great table topics today, folks. Young lady came across today, Jennifer, and just made you all hungry. Somebody's gonna leave here and go buy a case of cashews. That's what you got to do. Get the salted for your Chinese or get the unsalted for your vegetarian. I wanna say, you know what? When I go out and I wake up tomorrow morning, I walk outside, guess what? I'm gonna understand. Stuff happens. So I got to understand stuff happens and get through it and just go with it. But if you don't know, somebody just told you that it's okay for guys to be gray. But if you're a lady, you got to be part of the natural beauty coalition. So folks, that's our table talks for today. At this time, I would love for you all to send me a message and let me know who you thought really knocked the topic out of the ballpark today. Mr. Toastmaster, the floor is back to you, sir.
Mr. James, thank you so much. Much appreciated. The next part of the meeting is our general evaluator, Miss Mimi, the motivator. Mimi,
Thank you.
could you take over, please?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Such a great meeting so far. I can't wait to give my evaluation, but we are going to begin with the evaluation of today's speaker that will be presented by the queen of everything, Miss Janet Sellers. Give her a round of applause. Miss Janet, take it over.
Okay, you might have noticed I have a verdant background on purpose. It's supposed to be spring starting next month. We probably won't get a verdant spring. We'll get a white spring. And tonight we'll get plenty of snow to help with that. But I planted seeds before. So ladies and gentlemen, I will have a verdant all around my house at some point, whenever that happens. Nathan, I want to tell you thank you for your talk. Good job. You hit everything you needed to hit. You were organized. You had good transitions. And I'm going to go through my list so that you don't miss anything. I'm asked for things like clarity, spoken language, and vocal variety. I give you a 5. Theoretically, being new on the block when people are new speakers, they're 3 and 4 if they're lucky, and you hit 5s. You're a very confident speaker. You had great audience awareness. You looked into the camera for the most part. You seemed very comfortable giving us your talk and talking about that topic and your background. It was interesting. We really were able to get into the stories that you were telling us about your life. And I think for this very specific speech, the fact that you gave us so many personal stories and let us follow along in your path was the right thing to do. We were able to, as an audience, be a part of who you are when you were a protege and as you moved through that. So I think you excelled in all those parts. I would like you to be a doctor. I think you can pitch whatever you're doing and go be a doctor, because I would love you taking care of me. I think that is amazing. And EMTs are the fastest, but the people who've been out in the field like you have, I had one, I'm telling you, he was a physician's assistant, and the doctors couldn't keep up with him. He nailed it, and could take care of more patients than anybody else. So that's my sales pitch to you about don't ever give up on that extraordinary background. You could also start off with $100,000 a year as a medical writer, which is what I'm studying to be. That's no small pickings, and you don't have to have a degree for it. So keep that in mind. I don't know what to tell you about challenging yourself, because it was a wonderful talk. You looked at your notes. That's natural to do. I would say talk to the wall, talk to your dog, give the speech to your dog, give the speech in your shower, in various places. Give the speech so that you have a sense of you're saying it, not to something. Don't get used to the mirror. Don't get used to something else. Get used to it coming out your mouth so that it's real easy for you to do it. The only thing I would say to challenge yourself is not to go for notes, because we love looking at you, we love hearing you, and we love your attention on us. We're selfish. We like you. Thank you.
Momentarily, I think I forgot that I was the general evaluator. I'm over here doing some super general evaluation because I have this wonderful rubric that has just made it a little clearer for me. So today you're going to learn a little bit of what I'm learning about as being general evaluator. So the things that we have to evaluate, of course, is the general evaluator. And then we run through the functionary reports. So I want to give everybody the possible verdant chance to use the word verdant so it can be a verdant meeting. So I am not going to call on the word master yet, but I will call on today's timer. Please, timer, tell us, how are we doing?
Right now, we are right on topic. We are right on time as far as I know as a new student, okay? So you guys, please be patient. No judgment zone here, but right now we are looking great. It is now 12:45. So with that being said, I give it back to you. Would you like for me to explain how everybody's time was today? Okay, awesome, awesome. So for our speaker today, we had, bear with me, please. Okay, for our speaker today, Nathan, you were right on time at 6 minutes and 18 seconds. Sandy, you were at 8 minutes and 11 seconds for our topics. And I was so busy with Sandy, I was taking notes, so kind of ran off topic there. So anyway, for our table topics, Jennifer, everybody on table topics kept it right under 2 minutes. So I'm super proud of you guys for that. So table topics, Jennifer, you're at 1 minute and 22 seconds. Nathan, you were at 1 minute and 15 seconds. Shantae, you were exactly at 2 minutes. So thank you guys for that. As far as the table topics on James, I wasn't for sure if I was supposed to do a complete time limit on his set of table topics or not. So yes. So that's all I have on the eval for Jeanette. She was at 3 minutes and 15 seconds. So I hope that helps, guys.
Yes, thank you so very much, Madam Timer.
Yeah.
So the things on my list, let's see, I have next as a functionary. I guess we can go ahead and do the word of the day. I just hope that she has a very verdant report for us. That includes me being the verdant winner of using the word verdant.
Madam General Evaluator, I am so proud. I sincerely hope, because I see that we're streaming to YouTube, I sincerely hope Mike and Marty are watching this because they can take some notes from your use of the word of the day. You won with 6. Janet had 3, but I gave her 4 because I counted the background as a use of verdant. And Nathan, I heard 1 from you, and I think there were other uses and I just stopped marking them down. So bad word master. Would you like for me to roll into the grammarian report while I'm here? Because I'd like to give the counter a few more opportunities as well. For the grammarian report, we all spoke well today. I did not come up with very many poor uses of the English language to make a note of at all. I have a question. Shantae, did you use a phrase called mammally factual? Okay.
Yes, I did. I sure did.
I don't know where to go with it, except it seems accurate. So I'm going to call that a good, what? I can't see it, Nathan. Mammally factual. Thank you. Now I know mammally factual is a thing. I liked the wolf doesn't try to outrun the arrow. James, I think that you mixed your metaphors the tiniest bit because you're going with a baseball metaphor and you said swing at the bat. And I think that you wanted to take a swing maybe of the bat or a swing at the ball or your time up at the plate or something like that. And the other one I heard was Janet, small pickings. And it sounded like slim pickings and small potatoes coming together as one for the small pickings. And that is my report, Madam General Evaluator.
I think this was the most entertaining grammarian report I've ever heard. I'm over here just cracking up, laughing, listening. So thank you so much. It was very informative. Now, the report that we all are like, the report. Miss Jennifer.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. We were an and so in group today. I would say we were verdantly using so, but I missed out on my chance because the word master went before me. I was planning it, didn't get to use it to count. So And there's that so again. But I have noticed inspirational speakers, we are a sew-in. Thank you, Nathan. We are a sewing group. We love the word sew. And the one that I've noticed recently is the word and. So you notice yourself doing it more. James is checking me off with multiple so's. I'm not going to call anybody out. That is the main uses today was and so. Thank you, Madam General Evaluator.
Call us out, Jennifer.
Huh? Nathan, what did you say?
Call us out.
Okay.
Am I the so's? Am I the ums?
I know I sew.
I know I so.
You were up there with the ums and the so's and the ands.
Yeah.
I'm a
You
seller.
were among the top 3.
Go top 3. Yeah,
That's such a distinction. Good job. I bet I'm right there with you. I probably beat you.
You're right.
I don't know if anybody else wants me to call them out, so I'll just leave it at it is.
Okay. All right.
Somebody, please. I've been the winner for 5 years with 37. Come on, beat me.
Nobody beat you, Janet.
I think I got to beat Janet. Just hang in there. I'm coming for you.
All righty.
Kim, you actually are among the top 3, but you did not have 37.
That is hilarious. Thank you so much for that report. Let's give her a round of applause. So now to my evaluator checklist. Presiding officer, did we start on time? Yes, we did. Were the guests welcome? Yes, he was. Toastmaster, were the meeting roles explained? Yes, they were. Were the guests given an opportunity to introduce themselves? Yes, he was. Now, this is where I cannot check off. And this is something that we need to work on both ends as Toastmaster and as speaker. If you are a speaker, I want to encourage you to make sure that you get your introduction directly to this week's Toastmaster. So whether if they're an email person, email them. If they're a text person, don't text it because that's too much long of a text. But you could wait till we get on Zoom and maybe send it to them in the private chat. But be sure, check in with the Toastmaster and make sure the Toastmaster has your introduction. Toastmaster, check in with your speakers and say, do I have your introduction? And give them that I like that.
You can put 2 check marks on that.
Yes.
Arturo was amazing, and I was able to get that too, Arturo.
Yes. So I want to say that Art was like, he has blown us out the water as being Toastmaster. Give him a big round of applause. Matter of fact, unmute yourselves and so you can hear this noise. Like, woo! This was Art's first time being Toastmaster, and he sent follow-up emails. He reached out to Sandy and I to make sure that he was on point and on track and everything. I want to thank you, Art, for throwing your whole self in and shaking all about. So I appreciate that you have set the bar, and now we know what we have to do as Toastmaster. So the meeting will end on time. I have faith in that. We're going to make this fast. So were there good transitions? There were. I love the way Art transitioned into Sandy's presentation. So no, we don't have a second speaker, but we do have a quick presentation. Something else I want to mention is table topics master. The topics were appropriate. He introduced it. What we want to work on is making sure that we call on the people who have not or maybe will not have an opportunity to speak for today. So call on the people with no roles, then call on the people with the small roles, and then roll up to the bigger roles. But if somebody spoke as a speech today, they definitely ain't got no business doing table topics. All right. So table topics participants, everybody was really great. And I see everybody's skills improving tremendously. Evaluator, was the book report summary avoided? Yes. Was the sandwich technique employed? It was kind of in there. The one thing that I want to say that I got lost when we started talking about something about being a doctor or some medical something. I don't know. I was lost and not sure where we were and what we were doing anymore. I had to get back on track. But I love how Janet ended with a quick bit of encouragement because we like you. So she gave a suggestion or gave us something and she said, but we like you because we like you. And I love that ending. It was so positive and quick that you didn't have nothing to do but smile. So I want to thank everybody for a great meeting today. And I will now pass this back over to our Toastmaster to find out the results of our table topics winner today. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mimi. So yes, Mr. James Flowers. So who is our winner for the table topics?
Ladies and gentlemen, the combined score that knocked it out of the ballpark and we swung the ball, the bat didn't connect with the ball. We give it up to the person who has let you know if you are great, you can stay, but you got to be naturally beautiful to join this coalition. Miss Shante is the winner today. Mr.
Outstanding.
Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I will now like to pass the torch over to our president, Miss Sandy Morrell.
Thanks, Art. Great meeting today. You have raised the bar for us in the role of Toastmaster, for sure. We all have something to aim for in the future.